Hello, hello. Good day and welcome to this month's Flamingo Community Lagoon, where we kick back and chat about Flamingo, the project roadmap, DeFi, crypto, and anything else, as well as answer any community questions. So yeah, let's get this thing started. How's everyone doing today? Can anyone answer for the whole team?
I think that's your task, Scott, to answer on behalf of everyone.
Yes, everyone is okay.
Or at laser, you could tell your riddle again because most folks in the audience didn't hear it at the fireplace.
Oh, that got so bad response in the last AMA, so
No,
I'm
Yeah.
doing that again.
everyone.
I'm refraining from telling any more jokes until the next AMA, and I'll work on my comedy until then.
Yeah, it's been a month since last time, and since then I think we what was consensus before last time?
Consensus was before, but you know what was after? Web3 Berlin. So those who
Yeah,
were at Web3 Berlin, maybe you can give us a little rundown of how that all went.
that was when it comes to it was like a bad week for crypto. So I think that was bad for the event as well. A couple of thousand people dropping by, but we made the most of it. We had a really good pre-party where I think we connected with around 60 to 80 new people, helped them on Flamingo, helped them use Smart Stake, and show them the platform, and they really enjoyed it. Some of them had been using other DEXs or DeFi platforms. Some of them were new to it, and we got some really good feedback. We got some really nice things that we can improve, and we also saw that we had some really nice features compared to other platforms. So that was really nice. So yeah, it should. Yeah, we were hoping for more attendees there, of course, but I think all in all, it was a good event.
What did people like most about Flamingo when you were showing it at the party?
Of course, they liked seeing that the ticker was ticking up when it comes to staking. And then when they understood how a DEX works, that it's like basically when you're a liquidity provider, you are the bank, so you get fees when other people trade with your money instead of the bank taking the fees and still using your money. So it's more like the Web3 way of doing money, I think, like the decentralized way of doing it. They like Smart Stake for people that been on other platform, that they could just like click one button and everything was fixed for them. So yeah, it was really good. We did everything on mobile, so that was a good one for us as well, because usually I don't use mobile that much. So it was like good to get some really good feedback on that, on what we need to improve on mobile as well.
Yeah, but also we were onboarding different types of user with regards to their crypto level, I should say, or experience level. So some people, like on the final step where you do the smart stake, they're like, yeah, but you should just that pool. Do you have any pool with higher APRs? And some people were like, okay, so I push that button, and okay, now I have staked. What now? And then we show them the counter, of course, and everyone from the beginners to the more experienced loved the counter. But then during the process, there were nice to see people with different experience level trying to go through all the steps. The one we skipped, of course, this time is getting the crypto in the first place from fiat, because that takes too long time, and maybe some people have to do the KYC or something. So we just airdropped some or sent some tokens to them that they could immediately stake and try Flamingo with. So we tested everything apart from coming from fiat, and everyone managed to do it.
Yeah,
of course,
even the guy speaking only Spanish.
you onboarded one Spanish guy as well.
Yeah, we didn't understand like a word that we were saying to each other, and And I was like, but he was really happy, and he was like, and also we had that guy didn't say it because I didn't understand what he was saying, but we had like other people were like, yeah, I'm gonna bring in some more cash here. Yeah, they really liked the experience, and also I think that we've been running for 3 years. That Flamingo has been running for 3 years. That's a really good milestone.
Yes.
Yeah, not only running for 3 years, but like with zero security breaches or hacks or anything like that. It's awesome.
Both
You see other
visitors.
DeFi protocols being hacked left and right, and getting security breaches and people losing funds, and you see it on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that I'm on the Flamingo team, and not once that has happened to us. So I love it. Really
Yeah,
great.
it's something that you work on every day, basically, because every day you have to make sure that you do the right choices. That's also why you don't like throw out features left and right, because you want to make sure that everything is thought about. We had this one with the FUSD where everything was done, it was audited, and then we were like, yeah, but if that happens, then the interest is like this. So then, and everyone agreed that like in this, let's call it thought experiment, that this was the case. So we changed the contracts, we did a new audit, and the auditors agreed that, yeah, this was the thing. But then afterwards, like when we were able to process that thought experiment further, we were like, no, that's wrong. We have to go back to the way it was.
Yeah, that can be like once you have all the front end implemented and starting to
Yeah.
use it as a user from end to end with the smart contracts in place on testnet and everything, and then you go through the process with another mindset, the mindset of a user, and all of a sudden like these parts come together in a different way and form a different picture. So you have to sometimes go back to the drawing board because of security. And security isn't just technical stuff, that there is some code written incorrectly, but there can be logical errors in thinking that makes the whole system.
Most hacks are financial hacks. Like I would claim that most of the DeFi platform aren't hacked. They are actually just used in the way they are designed to be used. And
But
someone exploits
maybe.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not a hack. It's not like I found like a way to hack your contract. It's more like if I just do this to the value of the collateral, I can do this when I lend something.
Yep.
And basically that's not an hack, it's an exploit. And when it comes to swapping, like you have these flash loan attacks, it's basically not an hack, it's basically not an exploit, it's just bad logic.
Yeah, so there are things like flash loans, price manipulation, whale manipulation, where you have too much assets than this in one user, and that makes sure maybe like the voting is wrong, and maybe contracts get locked because you're too dependent on your DAO system and stuff like that. So there's all these different kind of logical hacks, maybe we could call them.
Yeah, for sure. It makes me think of actually like the recent FLM market. We had some folks, for whatever reason, not being able to remove their collateral, I think it was, or self-fund or something, and people were like, what's going on? It's broken, but it wasn't broken. We actually had security measures in place for this very thing so that exploits can't happen when someone tries.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I think that's an important thing to talk about, because you could always sell the fund. That wasn't the issue. The issue was removing collateral. And then people were like asking, okay, so then I can't then I will get margin maintained. No, you can always add more collateral because that doesn't depend on price. The thing was that FLM was priced at 18 cents on Binance. But on Flamingo, in the liquidity pool, FLM were priced at 13 cents. So there was an arbitrage opportunity there waiting to happen. But I think that the arbitrage bots, or people running the arbitrage bots, had the same issue that we had some RPC nodes that were having some issues with syncing the blocks. So they were also getting some wrong prices. The thing here is that if you're able to manipulate the price one place and then you're able to remove your liquidity, that will make your loan under collateralized. And that would then basically be a security issue for all the other lenders on Flamingo. So basically what happened is what will happen every time the price spikes on like different exchanges and on Flamingo. The reason it's like this is that you can't just go to Flamingo, have $10 million, do a flash attack on the liquidity pool, lend a billion FUSD, then change the price back in the liquidity pool, and then have like 1,000% under collateralized loan.
Because doing these types of attacks is possible to do in one single transaction. You can do all these steps, and if the checks and balances that Mr. Google is talking about isn't in place, then it's possible to do those things. You don't have to like wait a little bit or manipulate price, wait a little bit, then do your thing, and then take the price back again. You can do this in like a millisecond because it's in one transaction. And if this safeguards isn't in place, yeah, it's easy actually to do those kinds of hacks.
Yeah. It's I would say it's a feature, not a bug. I understand that it's like frustrating. It was for me as well. I was trying to take out some collateral and wasn't able to do it. And for the exact same reason, because lending isn't a trading function. So if you're lending FUSD, then basically you're doing that. And if your let's call it the thing is to trade, to sell the highs and buy the lows,
Right.
yeah, then why do you lock up your collateral? It's like buying a house in the bank. You're locking up your money.
It's a very
You're
good
locking
point.
up your house.
Yeah, very
It's
good
not
point.
liquid anymore in that
No.
sense. It's less liquid, I would say. So yeah.
Absolutely. I bought a house, last year, and let's say the market pumps out of nowhere like tomorrow. I can't just go sell it when I want to tomorrow. Like that's not how it works. My money's in the house, and I have to wait for someone to, I have to show it to a few people. I have to wait for someone to make an offer. I have to wait for the banks to loan the money to give to me and all of that. So
No,
yeah,
but even the
all about
bank will the bank will even be able to say no, where you're
Yeah.
not able to sell your house because let's say you have
Yeah.
a fixed interest mortgage or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was a good test. It was a stress test because I would say that this isn't a regular scenario. This is a scenario basically where you see the price spike that much. I would say that's a scenario for an exploit. That's something a person that would try to exploit FUSD would do to get these price differences outside of Flamingo and inside of Flamingo, because then you're able to lend at a different rate, but you're not, because we covered it. So that's why you're not able to withdraw when the prices are have too big difference between major exchanges with huge volume and on Flamingo. So as soon as arbitrage happened, everything then you were able to withdraw, and yeah, some people let's call it got stuck there, but yeah, it's lend, it's not the trading product. So
But it was a good stress test for a system. It was also a good lesson regarding the user experience because people were frustrated. That's the truth. We can't hide that people feel frustrated, and more explanation of what's happening could ease that friction maybe. So
but like I felt the frustration myself.
Yes,
really,
yes.
like, yeah, this is really frustrating. Why do I just get an error? Why don't I get the message saying like the prices are too far apart? Blah blah blah. Like I was feeling blind as a user. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can improve on, but it's good to see that the security measures work, because it's not fun to put your money in a platform that doesn't take security as first priority. So that should be like, if you think the other way, like, would I like to lend here and put my collateral in if someone is able to manipulate the prices and then just like fuck my loan?
Of course not, and that goes back to the why we started talking about this like security and Flamingo. It goes hand in hand, and that's why we don't ship features on with smart contracts at least every week. So because it's a long process, and for front end work, things like smart stake and pool swap and all these different smart features and the minor improvements here and there and the new landing page and stuff like that we can ship in a short amount of time.
Yeah, but it still requires testing. It still requires
yes.
yeah.
But then also with the new front page, that also it requires the same thought process, but it isn't like related to security in that sense. But
No.
you have to create something that's well thought through, not just smack something together. And that's what we maybe did in the beginning of entry, I would say. Like, okay, we have to go to entry. We just have to do the migration. And then from there, we've been able to put more and more thought into each feature, each page, every text, every copy on the page, and it takes longer and longer for us to iterate on stuff because we put more thought into it. And I think that's okay because the base features of Flamingo now they work very good. And there are some
everyone can trade, everyone can lend, everyone can stake in the fund. It's not like there's no functionality there, and also it's a limit of what the DEX or DeFi platform should do in the future. Yeah, we have the order book plus coming in. It's a lot of work.
Waiting for me to come back full time.
So and it's like it's like really hard to get that like 100% focused, because when you came back from maternity leave, then it's like 3,000 other minor tasks to do and just clean them up. And then we have here in Norway, they're closing kindergartens and schools, so it's really hard to work in July and focus on something that requires that kind of commitment, because you don't want to fuck up. Sorry for the language, but you don't want to fuck up. You don't want to just chip the order book plus and let people buy free tokens.
No. And it's not like we're not calling each other every week about this and discussing how it's just supposed to be done. We've been so much from back and forth on how that should work on a technical level, but also in the user experience and everything. Like it's not an easy task.
And it's a hard nut to crack, because we're trying to fix this on a layer 0. While what other projects do is that they just make their own, let's call it layer 2 blockchain. That's just a centralized server. And where's the security aspect? Then we're back to the security aspect, because it would be so simple for us to just have this wallet where you deposit your crypto into, but then it's centralized. Solving the order book centralized, that would take us a week. Because use like no one can take no one's funds because it's centralized, so it's just a database. So why it's hard, it's because we're trying to solve it on the decentralized layer instead of just making a layer 2 solution that it runs on one server, and when that server is shut down, then your money is gone.
Yeah, correction there. We want to do it in layer 1. I think you said layer 0.
I don't know anymore, because when we were at Web3 Berlin, they are talking layer 0. That's basically layer 1, and I was like, okay, what's layer 1 then? It's like, oh, that's layer 2, and then okay, what's layer 2 then?
Layer 1, I think it's just more of a buzzword for people trying to have high throughput and stuff like in their network, because they're basically maybe not using HTTP or something, so they're actually building their own protocol to do stuff. Like, I think basically Bitcoin is using either just TCP or HTTP on top of TCP to communicate between nodes, but some try to do their layer 0 without that stuff. Like, they create their own protocols as well, and I don't think that's necessary, but yeah, some do.
Yeah, okay, so layer 1, we're trying to solve it on a layer 1.
Yep.
And that's something people should think about when it comes to layer 2s. It's the security of a layer 2. I think just saying that we made a layer 2 and it's doing this and it's really fast and it's really good, just like, is that layer 2 a centralized server that just pushes transactions to the layer 1 now and then? And then, like, how secure is that layer 2?
Yeah, because we want to piggyback on Neo, right? We want to be everything Neo is. In the sense that Neo is decentralized, we want to be that decentralized, you know?
Yeah.
We want to have, we want to be in those blocks that's settled every 15 seconds. We wanted to because as soon as you move away from that into layer 2, like you say, Odd, then what are you? Then you have to, as a user, a DeFi user, you should be concerned about every aspect of that layer 2. But if you're concerned about all the aspects of layer 1, maybe you know that about Neo. You're like comfortable with being inside the Neo ecosystem because you know on the base level how it mechanically or technically works. And if Flamingo bases everything on that, then okay, then we base everything on that. As soon as there's a layer 2, a bunch of things can go wrong.
It's basically just a new blockchain. So yeah,
Yes.
who runs that blockchain? Who runs the nodes? How are you sure it's decentralized? How are you sure that nobody just can't turn it off?
I'm
So
not
so it's
against layer 2s, but I wouldn't prefer it on Flamingo.
no, yeah, I'm not against it, but I think like it's a huge security thing people should think about when it comes to layer twos. Like, are they decentralized? Who runs the nodes? Like, how are they controlled? Because as soon as you add a layer two, it's a new blockchain,
Yep.
basically. So you need the whole security aspect of a new blockchain to talk with a layer one that's also a blockchain.
It's a whole
That
new
should,
blockchain, but it's also another blockchain. So you
yeah,
have to have two in mind that you're concerned about, and if the one can affect the other in any way as well. Like if something happens on the layer 1, how does that affect the layer 2? And you have to think about all these things, or you don't have to. But I think DeFi users on the more
no,
experienced
but I
level
think
do think
that's why
about
we
this
want to.
stuff.
That's why we want to solve it on the layer one,
Yeah,
because then Flamingo is truly decentralized, running on Neo blockchain. You can make your own user interface. That's also something that we want to do. We want to decentralize the user interface so you can like just run it on your own computer.
yep.
Yeah. So then you don't depend on like a server running uh, at Bordeaux's house and Somniwave's house, because that's the layer two solution.
Mm, yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think things like the order book takes time. FUSD was hard as well, uh, and uh, and also the maternity leave, of course, because Atlasor is the biggest brain in the room. So we need him to work on stuff like this. It's really hard to manage without. That's why we've been focusing on marketing and focusing on all the other activities. That's I think like smart to focus on when he's away, because it's hard to do all this bits and bytes stuff when
And
the
I think
AI is
it's
gone.
Yeah, I think it's good to give a lot of credit here to Bordeaux and the rest of the team that's been working hard on the marketing side of stuff. It's behind the scenes a lot, but I see them working hard every single day, and Bordeaux is in the middle of that coordinating everything.
Yeah,
It's really good, of course, checking with us and other team members to make sure that we're aligned on everything, and that's fine and well. But Bordeaux, thank you very much. I see we have like momentum building on that side as well, as
Yeah,
we had the same momentum on the technical side before. I think it's really good. Maybe you can
absolutely.
speak more to it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's been a lot going on in terms of the marketing stuff. Like I've said in other lagoons, we're really trying to push the marketing pedal to the metal now that we have a good, solid DeFi platform with so many awesome features that users love. Like now is the time to push it out to the public and get more people involved and get more people in the know of Flamingo. And get more, users with Neo wallets and more people in the pools. And one way to do that is we launched an ambassador program. So anyone can be an ambassador. Basically, as an ambassador, you're helping the platform grow. So like I said, anyone can join. It's not like other ambassador programs where the project just picks one or two ambassadors who do everything. It's more like we're allowing anyone to become an ambassador, and then each month we're paying up to $500 in gas to spread amongst several ambassadors who we feel like really stood out that month in terms of helping the platform grow. So that might look like tweets to hundreds or thousands of followers. That might look like helping users who are asking questions on Discord or Telegram. That might look like literally just telling your friends and family about Flamingo, having them join Discord and tell us like, hey, Mr. Google sent me or Zatrov sent me. All of these things add up, and so yeah, at the end of June, so that's just in a few days here, the team will get together and look through the entire ambassador channel on Discord, and basically make a decision on who we felt helped the platform grow the most in June, and then we'll decide how much of the $500 each ambassador who wins that month will receive, and then yeah, we'll do it all again next month, $500 up to $500 next month.
Yeah, but also helping people that join Discord, helping them use the platform. It's like an ambassador can do multiple things. Yeah, we're looking at all those kind of things, but it's having an impact. I think that's really important.
100%. It's really the point I'm trying to drive home. Like, let's say you make 1,000 tweets, like you tweet 100 times a day or something, but you only have a couple followers. It's pat on the back to you, but I hate to say it, how much of an impact is that actually making to, the Flamingo platform? Not much, because only a couple people are actually hearing about your tweets or whatnot. But let's say you're making one tweet a week, like, and you have a following of 5,000 or something. That's much more of an impact than just like shouting out to a few people every day. So
and also like maybe creating having a like physical workshop, maybe you do, or
yeah, but let's say for people that don't have many Twitter followers, like maybe better writing a Reddit post or writing something in a forum. It's not like if you don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, you can't be an ambassador. It's more like use your strengths. Like how can you tell people about Flamingo? How can you help Flamingo grow? How can you make an impact? Yes. And if you have 10 followers on Twitter, maybe Twitter is not the place to make an impact. So sure. If we see that you tweet 10 times about Flamingo to 10 followers, that doesn't count for much of an impact. But if we see that you post something on Reddit, try to like get some trending things, get a lot of likes on a Reddit post or a forum or a Medium post or something like that, try different channels where you, even if you don't have like a lot of followers, but where you can make an impact, basically.
Yeah, and it's like if you're a video creator, you could make a video about the history of Flamingo, and if that only has like 10 views, but it's nice for everyone to share in the foreseeable future to any user, impact. Like that's an impact. And also having or hosting a physical workshop or something and documenting it, and then you have like power users because you teach them a lot, maybe about blockchain even, and Neo, and then that's a huge impact because getting just 10 power users is really good. Having them join the Discord and being like engaged and not like almost like a bot. You're there for a day or two and you're gone. That's not much impact, I guess. So there's tons of different ways to make an impact, and I think you sum it up really well with that word, Mr. Google. Impact.
Yes,
that's the most important.
Impact-based. Yeah, let's call it an impact-based ambassador program.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can make an impact if someone joins Discord and they say, hey, how can I use Flamingo? And you're like holding their hand, walking them through, welcoming them to the community, and you're like you're making an impact because you're helping new people that join Flamingo. And that's also making an impact.
Yeah, we have several users doing just that, like answering the questions for new people who are joining who want to be ambassadors or whatnot.
Yeah,
it's another great way. And yeah, in terms of other marketing initiatives, another huge thing happening over the last couple of weeks is O3 Swap has aggregated from Flamingo. Not only did they list FLM on their exchange, their DEX, but they've aggregated all of the liquidity from Flamingo. So when anyone trades any token on O3 that's on Flamingo, say TIPS or FLM or Doger or GM or something, that is actually being triggered on Flamingo in order to get, the liquidity from the pool. So in doing that, the Flund APY goes up because the more volume happening on Flamingo triggers the APY of the Flund to go up because more fees, and then with the more fees, that a percentage of that fee is going into the Flund in the form of FLM. So
and also for the liquidity pools.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So also for the general like volume on Flamingo, and I think that's the future of Flamingo is to help projects that build on Neo to use the liquidity pools. One thing is like going to Flamingo and doing something, but the future is that you go into your DApp and you want to do something, and it just uses Flamingo on, let's call it, the backend. It doesn't like it. Ghost Market is also using Flamingo. You can go to Ghost Market and you can buy any NFT with any asset on Neo because it's just using Flamingo to swap. You have BNEO, but the seller wants gas. Okay, pay BNEO, and we will convert it into gas and pay the seller. So that's the power, I think, in the future to get a lot of DApps just aggregating on top of Flamingo. And there's also some new DApps coming out now that we've been helping, so they can also basically use the liquidity that's on Flamingo to launch their DApps.
Yeah, because there's different ways to grow. One is just to get new users into the core platform of Flamingo, and the other is to have more of that business relationship where you have other projects using Flamingo as their backbone, whether it be just converting tokens to make it easier to buy NFTs on the Ghost Market, or having a good liquidity in the money market like with O3. Or it could be a totally different financial product that needs to leverage the smart contract functions that Flamingo have, like we see in one of the new projects coming to Neo soon. That is doing exactly that you were hinting to. So that's a different way of growing in that project or business sense, in the business relationships with others. And,
that's an easier way for Flamingo to grow as well. Like, of course, with users is one thing, but then also getting multiple DApps that also brings in user to their DApps.
Yeah, and with regards to marketing and having those, getting more users, as you say, maybe harder, yeah, but if we put in that effort to maybe figure out how we're supposed to do that now, even in a bear market, we're prepared for a bull run and we know the challenges of advertising and the channels we can use to advertise efficiently and what type of content that drives users to the site and make them stay there. It's good to experiment now because I guess that's like boxing with weights on your hands and weights on your body. It's hard right now, but once you take those weights off, you've become really strong and powerful, and that's the bear market where everything is easy. So I think it's still worth the effort on threading down that hard path of getting new users, but simultaneously making all these synergetic effects with all the other projects.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and speaking of which, and I'm not gonna like spill any beans or put the cart before the horse or anything, but I've actually been in talks with some other folks about getting our tokens listed on more exchanges. So more on that, like in the background with the team later, but that could potentially be some exciting news. And yeah, otherwise, in terms of more advertising, I've been working closely with Somnium Wave, who's been making some awesome videos. Unfortunately, we've been a little bit blocked on YouTube, specifically because they don't like to allow DeFi exchanges or dexes to advertise on YouTube. But we're seeking other ways to get these videos out. basically, through Twitter advertising. There's also CoinZilla, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, all of those. We've applied to a handful of these websites and crypto platforms as ways to explore further advertising with Flamingo and with these beautiful images, as well as 3D visuals with the help of Somnium Wave and Freeze. The ball is rolling. It feels like a snowball that will eventually become an avalanche, right? I see the avalanche at the bottom of the hill, but it's about just pushing all these various snowballs from the top of the hill, and then as they momentum and weight and more snow at the bottom of the hill, they will become an avalanche, and they will start driving a lot more usage of the platform soon. So
Yeah, that's those small snowballs is like figuring out,
yes.
Okay, you can't do YouTube. Okay, then how do we make that snowball grow then? Okay, is it CoinZilla? Yeah, that might work. And this content, we can't really use that. And we have like internal feedback loops on what we think, and then we can release it, and we can A/B test and all this stuff. Like, I feel at least it starts this momentum, but it's hard to tell for the users on Discord maybe to see that there's momentum gathering in the behind the scenes. And I think that's so good to have these AMAs or Lagoons, or we have the possibility to talk about it.
Yeah. And speaking of AMA, should we open for a little bit of questions?
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone in the audience has any questions, feel free, just raise your hand and we'll bring you right up on stage and you can ask away. Or even just, hang out, tell us how you're doing. Tell us what you think about the current market, or anything, on your mind about Flamingo, or even just like whatever you feel like chatting about. Come on up.
That's also always possible in these AMAs. From the first minute to the last, just raise your hands if you want to come up and talk with us. And I guess we could just continue to talk, and if anyone has any questions, just raise that hand.
Yeah, I want to talk about the crypto market. It's where Bitcoin is at, let's call it all-time high. It's not all-time, but basically we're back to that little feeling of FOMO that we had a couple of months ago, Bitcoin hitting 30,000 again and everything feeling good. It's been down for a while, but now the last few days it's back up there. But I don't get that same feeling. It's now it's more like
Like year to date, it's all-time high.
Yeah.
Yes, and so like the last 365 days, it's never been higher. Or at least in the last couple of days, and it doesn't feel like that. Like you say,
it doesn't feel like that at all. It's just like, but maybe it's just my feeling when it comes to it. But it's like I feel that I have to be more patient.
Is that like short-term memory, or is that long-term memory? Is it because we know that it's been like almost 70K before, or is it because like the recent days of like the swings and how it affects the mood? Maybe I'm not sure.
It's the general mood that this long bear market has, enforced. It's kind of hard to break out of. The past weeks or months, or whole year. We're used to kind of waking up and. Although we're excited about building our various platforms and excited about working together and excited about promoting Neo and all of that, it's still always over the last years or two been like a bear market in the background, just kind of like Mr. Google said, and it's kind of hard to break out of that and kind of form new thought patterns around the market. Even though if the market's super green for a week, it's still because it's been so red for a year or two. It's just hard to break that habit, so to speak.
Self-defense mechanism, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're preparing
sure.
for it to go back down again.
don't-
Like
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
don't,
because
you're
yeah.
it's like,
you're used to getting hurt, so you're like, nah, I'm not opening myself up to having feelings for you again.
not
Yeah.
for it.
And
It's like the market. It's
if
like the
you
market
like
calling wolf.
and if you like getting hurt, you always go back. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes. Like crypto is a complicated love affair.
yeah,
Yes.
it really is. No, but it's not the same feeling that it was like a couple of months ago. A couple of months ago, it was like a really good feeling. When from January we had like this up. But now it's more like you're gonna hurt me again. I'm not I'm not opening up to getting hurt again.
But seeing like that we could bounce back from the FTX scandal, I think
Yeah,
that was the most like share or a happy moment for
Yeah.
all of crypto. Like, oh yeah, it's positivity. We can do it, and it doesn't matter about the central exchanges anymore. We can still like survive as in crypto, and like that could only maybe last for so long. That positivity, and now we're like, yeah, kind of like why aren't we like at an all-time high yet?
Right.
Don't we like
Right.
deserve it? It has been through like crypto as an industry has been through so much and it's still there, still going up. But it feels like it needs that last like oomph. It's
and I
up,
think
it's good.
also the altcoin market is lagging behind. I think also that's one of the things that, like, even though Bitcoin is performing well,
Yeah, but that's also
altcoins in
because of the
general,
drop from a couple of weeks ago. Then all the altcoins dropped like 30%, and they
yeah,
never
they
really.
killed themselves.
Yeah, they killed themselves.
The other problem is sometimes, the altcoins will just drop off a cliff, and then it takes a week of green to get back to where it was before the drop. And so that's another reason why maybe a week of green doesn't feel as good because you're still not where you were last week before dropping off that
Yeah. Yeah, even though like Bitcoin is higher up, still
cliff.
your altcoin portfolio is down because because of that cliff diving.
Yeah, like I think it also us as builders it tears a little bit that it tears on us a little bit because we know that higher or at least growing crypto prices helps adoption. We shouldn't rely on it, of course, but when there's too much fear, it's harder to get people to adopt the technology. So it
Yeah.
does help a lot, and you feel like you're building to less of an audience
Yeah.
in the bear market than you actually are.
Yeah,
And
but you're doing that. Like one year ago or 1.5 years ago, we're like 10 times the people,
Yeah.
and it was like 10 times less the functionality.
yeah, yes, and
So I think that has a lot to say that like you're building, and every day more and more people are just like, yeah, going back to work at McDonald's.
well, I think also maybe we are building for those people who
When they
we
go
lost
back.
along the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're definitely going back, and they are going to be more experienced this time, and they're not built or like buying those maybe safe moon tokens or other almost like pump and dump schemes. They know that okay, this time I'm going to find like a more solid DeFi platform. This time
Yeah.
I'm going to like look at the history before I do this and this and this, and we'll maybe get a lot of those users back. But now they're more experienced, and if we're still around, that's good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's been a lot of DeFi projects that people have brought up to us and that we looked into that's not here anymore.
Yep.
After this bear market, and it was like fun for the first 4 weeks when they had like 4,000% APR. I'm always like going back to risk reward. It's always the same for me. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. And of course, high rewards are really nice as user, but just remember when you have a high API on something, it usually has a higher risk. Like Flamingo now has lower APIs but like we've been running for 3 years, no hacks. Of course, there's a much safer feeling here than going to a new DeFi platform.
Well, think about it. You have a solid pool like FLM Neo with 25% APR, and you've been issuing FLM tokens for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
or like more,
3 years. Yeah.
3 years. Yeah. So that's crazy. That means there's something here, and I think experienced users will look at history and look how long you've been around before you try to like stake for long term or position yourself for long term gains. And I guess more and more people are the longer crypto survives, because
Yeah.
those short gains, those are for traders or DeFi speculators, and few people can do that. And all the people that do that and fall off know that they can't. They'll have to find a more stable way to.
We had this
Burn.
capital company reaching out to us wanting to buy into the project.
Yeah.
and we were like, yeah, okay, let's talk with them. And they were like sending an offer. They wanted to buy, I think it was 15% of the tokens or something for, was it $10 million? It was like
15% of FLM supply.
yeah, and then they had like this plan of at what prices they could sell, and I said to them, yeah, this is fine and everything. The only issue is that we don't have any tokens, like team allocation. And they were like, yeah, sure. Of course you have a treasury. Of course you have minted some FLM tokens. We're like, no, sorry. But like, if you want to buy 15% of the supply, you can just go on Binance or OKX or on Flamingo and start buying FLM. And then you will have 15% of the supply.
Yeah.
So I guess they did some days ago. No, just kidding. But like, yeah.
Yeah, but they were really shocked that like the team and they were like, how can you survive? And of course, it's because of the gas. So I think for them it was like this huge light bulb. Like, whoa, this isn't like just pressing mint. Selling tokens, dumping tokens, like people, we are just as much affected about like the price of FLM than anyone else, because it's private investments. Like
Right.
the FLM I hold are my private money. So of course I want the FLM price to go up and be high. So it's the same feeling as anyone else here. Like it was really fun seeing it pumping up to almost 20 cents again, but it's like devastating to see it back at 7 cents.
Yeah, and like we said, the issues with removing collateral, of course. A lot of the people in the team, of course, have a hold FLM as well, because they believe in the product, and at the higher prices want to maybe take a gain or to actually pay for their daily expenses. And like, we have to use the platform as users as well, and I think that's a good thing. Like, we can't really just mint them and here you go, there's more money, because then you dilute that on the users. So we have to stake, we have to think about impermanent loss, we have to use the lending platform the same way as the others, and I think that's a good thing. Like, the team also in the moderator chat also talk like normal users about what we think about the price. And
everyone here uses the platform, hopefully.
I've used the platform for much longer than I've been on the team, so
I think that's how you happen to end up on the team.
Yeah,
Yes.
always. It's like people have asked, like, oh, can I be a moderator, or can I do this, or can I? I'm like, yeah, just join the Discord, hang out, like show your capabilities, and show us that we need you.
Yep.
It's easy as that. As soon as like we feel that you fill a gap or something, yeah, of course, then you're valuable to the team. But yeah.
That's how you developers ended up on the team as well. Like, you started building for Flamingo before you were even developers for Flamingo. So
if we were, like, there wasn't this community transfer thing happening, then my Mingo would have been like this maybe big platform with all the functionality that you see today, except maybe for maybe some of the stablecoin stuff, or maybe we would have taken different paths, maybe because of the smart contracts we wanted to maybe build on top of Flamingo, so maybe look different. I'm not sure, but there would have been a big Flamingo platform at least, because we wouldn't stop, because we love the core product, but we wanted to improve. So yeah, that's the that's the way it happens, and I think it's so cool in Web3 because you rarely see that in Web2.
Yeah, someone else just building on someone else's. I'm just buying Teslas and putting on some new wheels and a new engine, and I'm selling them.
And then you get sued, right? Like it's that's the way of the web too. There's some companies doing that, that's building marketplaces, and I think that's the way to go. And also for Flamingo, like releasing SDKs, software development kits that other people can use that the same way, like Ghost Market leverage Flamingo, that you can swap tokens, like releasing tools to make it possible for other apps to use that. That's kind of like a marketplace kind of way of thinking. I think that's clever, because the Web2 companies that does that, they usually have a lot of success. Like they invite people in to build alongside with you, rather than closing gates like Apple usually do. The exception there is App Store. That's huge.
And speaking of past and future, we're actually about to launch a new design of the Flamingo roadmap, and along with the design, we'll have several new like bullet points and milestones on that roadmap. So that's another thing for the audience to look forward to in the coming days and weeks.
Yeah, we should add Atlas or ending paternity leave on that roadmap. Checked.
Yeah, that's been a huge milestone. That's been a huge milestone to finish, and then also let's just survive through July. It's a hard month to focus on anything that's requiring dedication. And at the same time, I'm moving the whole month basically already started, but it's some back and forth and just working on the laptop, working. I don't know what to call home anymore, because when I say working from home, it's like it's two homes right now until the end of the summer. Then it's just one home.
That's usually a stressful thing to move, and once you landed, that's good. You have energy again and inspired to get back to it in full force. And that's usually like 200% or more with us. I know how it is working.
The biggest issue is the neglection of the old house for like the last 4 years, basically, when we've been working really hard. It's been a lot of maintenance that's just been put off, and if you want to sell it and get something back, you can't like sell half a house.
Yeah, you can like tell that there hasn't been much time other than in front of your computer. Like things just get put off and put off and put off. But yeah, I feel like August is the time where like us to land very well and can get really back into it on the technical parts. And that isn't to say there is not a lot happening, because of the marketing team and every other team member is working hard. But it's hard to discuss all these things in the Discord, I think, with in the public channels.
To see as well. It's hard to see. Like YouTube, we spent a lot of time on YouTube. Until we figured out it was like a roadblock there, and like even though you weren't able to have the ads on YouTube, you still spent like 40 hours making stuff, making accounts, putting in this. So like it's not like you get those hours back just because it didn't work. So it's
But I do want to say that while it's summer break for a lot of folks in the world, and that's when people tend to go on their vacations and go to the beach and do things with their kids more and all of that. In Florida, it is not. In Florida, it's the hot part of the world where like it's in the summer that you stay inside the most because it's too damn hot outside. So while the developers are off having fun with their families and friends and moving from the other house and everything, Boardwalk is home, hunkered down, putting in 100 hours a week on Flamingo. So
you have air conditioning.
Yeah, in the air conditioning. So the marketing is still like going hard in the paint, so to speak, over here. So don't worry, guys.
No, we're on it every day, so it's more like the technical stuff, like the order book and the TAO. It's two things, but we've been working now on a new design, like with the Lend. Also, a new design were introduced where we use more of the screen, and also then there's a redesign for the earn page and some new features there as well that the users required. And I think like that will also
there's
be launched.
stuff happening like on the technical
Yeah.
side, but like it's
So,
more those things that require much headspace. That's hard
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
did I hear something about a mobile app?
No,
we
it's more like making like
yes.
you don't need a mobile app for Flamingo because you need a wallet to interact with it. So it's more like making the mobile version, like when you're on OneGate or Neoline, making that better.
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
Sense.
making user experience, because it's cool to ship new features like new contracts and stuff like that, but we also need to like spend time on improving what we have so people actually can use it, like listen to feedback, improving the user experience, and that takes time to like do a redesign, then like new code. Oh, we need this data. Okay, then we need to make a new parser for that, and all that stuff also takes a lot of time. And if we don't spend time on that kind of things and just ship new features, then we just have this geeky platform where only a couple of people can invoke smart contracts because it requires so much technical knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
So
Flamingo,
right now I would
our
say,
goal is to be the easiest platform, like to be like this one button platform.
Yeah. So right now I think we could say that there's only 2, maybe 3 major features planned. Some like in discussion, but what we really want to do is not to ship that many features. Of course, we can't tell the future. Maybe there's something really cool we think about, or there's some new inventions in DeFi space that we really want to do as well. Of course, we can't tell that, but right now it's planned only 2 to 3 new huge features, and other than that, we want to market and solidify the platform. We want to make it easier and easier for people to use it, more and more information on the site so that you can always like read up then and there, and videos and stuff like that. When you ship new features and redesign and not solidify so that it changes all the time, all that hard work going into making video about how to use that in this feature, you can't like use the video anymore because the platform looks totally different. So at some point you need to solidify the platform, and after we ship those features, that will be the main focus for devs, I think, is to make sure everything is more streamlined and just double down on what we have. And I think that's important, and I guess we will maybe have some people in Discord when new features, but I think we're so solid right now, especially after
I
Order
think
Book
we should
Plus
focus on
and
when new users. That's basically, at least in my head, as a user myself, it's like we need to grow the community. We need to grow the user base, and that's the thing that we need to solve. The other features are planned. We're working on them, and they will come. I don't think like if you launch the Order Book Plus that brings 1 million users. I don't think like you launch that and then just 1 million users the other day pops up, start using Flamingo.
No, but you're positioned more well for the bear market and for other D apps to build on top, since you're
When new users come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now we're in like user growth mode. And yeah, this is a really good way, I think, to kind of close out the Lagoon here. Just discussing a little bit more on, just kind of like what mode the team is in. Like, we're not just trying, like you said, not just trying to launch a bunch of stuff for the same users. Like, yeah, new stuff for the same users is always nice, but we really want more users using the platform, and more community members in the Discord discussing the platform, and talking to us as the team, and coming with their questions and with their answers and with their, I think I saw a community member a couple of days ago like ask everyone like what their favorite part about Flamingo was, and that was really kind of heartwarming, like just seeing like the different community members and team members just like piping in and chiming in and just saying like, yeah, I really like this about it, or I really like that about it, this is what's most important to me. I think I saw Mr. Google say the security part is most important to him, and that was really, yeah, you know what? It's true. Like sometimes we might lose focus of that, but it's nice to just kind of like get little reminders like that from time to time. So yeah, super focused, like in scope, just super focused on bringing in more users now. Well, the technical side is still ongoing, always in the background.
Yeah.
We're hyper focused on users now. So
From build mode
Yeah.
to grow mode, and right now it should say transition mode or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, if no other audience members have any questions, I think it's probably a good time to close up shop here at the June Flamingo Community Lagoon. I think this has been awesome. Thanks a lot for those who joined in the audience and for asking questions, and to those on the team who joined the call as well. I think this was a beautiful thing today, and I'm excited for the July Community Lagoon and to talk about everything we did in July, and to announce our June ambassadors. That'll be fun. That'll be a first time for us. So yeah, all good things to come.
Nice. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Right.